Hello and welcome to the Comic Zone. I am your host Chriz, aka The Mole, and this is time for a new part 1 of a 3-part review. The other parts will be coming out next month or something, of Sonic the Games, an exclusive digital online collection made by Archie Comics about Sonic the Hedgehog. The first one, Sonic the Games Classic. Because they're split into 3 different eras. This one's the classic era. Story list includes Generations, Sonic vs. Mecha Sonic, the Spin Doctor, which I believe was Sonic Spinball, the Island Hedgehog, Triple Trouble, and Sonic Blast. So you get 6 reviews for the price of 1 in this one review. Yay! So first let's look at Sonic Genesis, Part 1. This is a retelling of Sonic 1, and they do some pretty clever stuff here. Example, as you've probably figured out from the Archie comics, it features characters like Sally and all them from the Freedom Fighters. This time round, the Eggman you first see in Sonic 1 with the big wrecking ball that swings like that, essentially that's Snively, which is kind of cool. So that was never Robotnik. Robotnik is saved instead for the final fight, which is kind of cool. It kind of parodies the series a little bit with a line I loved, which I'm just gonna have to read that here just to make sure I get that correctly, because I've got some notes here for you. It says, "I'm gonna feel really stupid if this turns out to be a bomb or something," which is when Sonic goes to hit the plunger button on top of the end level device that always frees the creatures on Sonic. This is the first time he's seen them. He's like, "Wait, I'm gonna feel real stupid if this turns out to be a bomb," which that's kind of funny. But Sally and pals are inside the end level machine, which that's how he gets introduced to them. However, one small problem with this part of the book, which only gives it a 6 out of 10 in my book, which is it ends with a "now on sale, the 108-page graphic novel." I understand what they did. Basically, this is retelling Sonic 1, and it was to celebrate Sonic's 20th anniversary, so it uses all new art, as seen here. But essentially, they wanted that included in this book, well, this digital book, which makes me wonder if it's still a book if it's digital. Anyway, the point was, it adds the first part just as a preview, not the full thing. This is the only one it does that to. That's why it gets a 6 out of 10, not a full rating. It was still cool. With that said, let's move on to the next part. The next one is Sonic vs. Mecha Sonic, Sonic CD adaptation. Pretty damn good. Again, Snively replaces Robotnik or early Eggman, which again is pretty clever. Didn't quite feature enough Sonic vs. Mecha for me based on the title of it. It was still enjoyable. We got the first introduction of Amy into the comics, like in the game where this is the first introduction of Amy. That's kind of cool. We got to see Metal Sonic, or Mecha Sonic. We got to see him. He's always cool to see. Pretty damn cool book. I'm gonna give that one a 7.2 out of 10. So, my favourite page of that book, first of all, is this, the big splash page. That's right, this big splash page. When you saw that then, tell me that wasn't cool. I mean, I'm sorry, it's Sonic and Mecha Sonic in various positions, showing their speed and how close they are to get. I loved that. So with that said, let's move on to the third one. The Spin Doctor. This is a Sonic Spinball adaptation. It's a short tie-in. It's not majorly long, which is fine, as Sonic Spinball doesn't really deserve an overly long adaptation, let's be honest. It was still kind of fun though. I'm going to give that one about 7 out of 10. It was still kind of fun. The focus isn't on the Spinball level. Instead, we see Sonic get into this Spinball trap and we see him get fired around. That was fun. I did enjoy that. So now that leaves us with Part 4, The Island Hedgehog. This is I believe, a Sonic 3 adaptation. It could be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or just Sonic and Knuckles. I believe it's a Sonic 3 adaptation because it says Sonic 3 thing in the front. Knuckles talks like a mob guy in this, saying stuff like, "Those morgs, I've been played for a sap, those bums are headed for the jewel." He's basically a mob guy in this one, which is, I didn't expect that. That's kind of funny. Knuckles, the overly dramatic, mysterious guy, is like a mobster in this one, which makes perfect sense based on the fact this was written around the Genesis time. All they knew is he's a big guy with fists that's called Knuckles. I can kind of see why they did that. That's kind of fun. I have to give this one an 8 out of 10. I really did love Knuckles in this one. So let's look at some of the more art in that one. And then moving on. This one is Triple Trouble, based on the game Triple Trouble, believe it or not. Shock. But yeah, featuring Knack the Weasel for the first time. Knuckles and Sonic try to stop the emerald that's crashed into the mountain from coming. I believe it came from space. But basically, it's crashed into the mountain, and they want to stop it from combining and killing them all. It's kind of fun. I gave that one an 8.2 out of 10. Loved Sonic vs Knuckles in this one. Loved it. In fact, that's the one that I'm going to show below for my favourite art from, well, one of my favourite pages, just to show the art in this one as well. Sonic vs Knuckles. Awesome. Like I said, 8.2 out of 10 with that one. That one's kind of fun. So now that leaves us with Sonic Blast. Evil Flickeries. So, which is based on the game Sonic Blast, or Sonic 3D Blast, or whatever you want to call it. Sonic chases basically Eggman through various, chases Eggman or Robotnik for the older ones, because this is the time it was written, which is through various ring portals and stuff. The story of this one's kind of fun. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's not quite as good as the one before, but it's still fun. It's also worth pointing out the two I liked the best, Triple Trouble and Sonic Blast. The games for them, in my opinion, weren't that good, but the actual comic adaptation of them, it makes them actually really fun. I'm tempted to check those games out again, which is kind of cool. So now the overall process. Overall, I'm going to give this comic an 8 out of 10. Due to the fact a couple of them were 8, one of them was a 6, some of them were 7ish. I'm going to round them all up and give it an 8 in total. This is Archie using the Archie Comics basically using the games as a thing of saying, hey, look, we've done some game adaptations, we've bundled them together, we've given them you as a digital collection on places like Comic Xology, which is where I got mine from. It's cool, and for the price, because it's only like it's only about $4 or something like that, or $7, something like that. For the price of it, for 6 stories, and 6 pretty good stories based on the games, that's pretty good. I like that. I really do. I recommend this comic. If you're a fan of Sonic, I recommend this comic. If you're not a fan of Sonic, you may want to look away from this comic, because let's face it, the Sonic comics are not going to be as good as comics available elsewhere. However, again, this is for the fans of Sonic. It's a game based on the games of Sonic. It's the adaptations. It's worth checking out. The next one in this one is, I believe they called it Millennium. And the Millennium one is basically the adventure games, and I think one other one, like, I think it's Shuffle, ironically, not Heroes, I think it's Shuffle. Still, that should be fun. Then we go on to modern adaptation, which is like Unleashed and stuff, so that should be fun. I am looking forward to getting them, and I'm looking forward to reviewing them for you. So far, 8 out of 10 for this collection. I'll do the next collection sometime in October. Worth checking out. I've been your host, Chriz, aka The Mole. See ya.